Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 3-step sparring. 3-step sparring in Shotokan karate it's basically what it says. You step in 3 times and your opponent has to block 3 times. And then on the last one, they counter. So 3-step sparring, basically, it's to train many things. I'm going to discuss that later, so let's get into it. So the purpose of 3-step sparring, well, it supports 5 things. The first thing is the fact that it trains your techniques. It's basic and trains your techniques. The second thing, I guess, would be speed. Speed is important for both sides. The attacker has to try to beat the defender. The attacker has to try to get his technique in to the defender before the defender blocks. The defender's goal is to be quicker than the attacker, because the defender, he wouldn't know if the attacker be coming in this time or that time. He wouldn't know. So the attacker will have to move first, then the defender has to move second. But in the end, the defender will have to end at the same time as the attacker, because if he ends a little later, the attacker will already get in. So that's speed. Third is distance. Distance is very important because the attacker has to be just the right distance from the defender. The defender has to be like within punching distance from the attacker's point of view. Because if the attacker is too far out, then the punch or the attack will not reach. If the attacker is too close, then the attack will not fully execute, meaning not a lot of power. The defender's point of view on distance is when he blocks, then he has to just get out of that attack, because the defender will also counter, and the counter has to be within that same distance. So if the attacker punches, the defender still has to block that punch, but still in that same distance as the attacker. The fourth is timing. Timing is very important. So like, let's say the attacker, the timing for the attacker is waiting for the perfect moment, the sweet spot. So let's say like the defender, he just gets a little bored because the attacker is not attacking. But this is because the attacker is waiting for that lack of concentration of the defender. Like if the defender like blinks or looks away for a split second, that is when the attacker can go in. And the defender's point of view is do not move too early or do not move too late. Too early, let's say like the attacker is not coming yet, but then all of a sudden you as the defender thinks, okay, it's coming right now. So you kind of like shift back a little, or you like literally go into your stance. But you shouldn't actually wait for that attacker to show you some signal that he's coming in before moving. Because if you move, let's say you like shift back a little, it's going to be hard for you to recover. It's going to be hard for you to like get back to a normal position. And once you shift back just a little, that's the sweet spot for the attacker to come back at you. Because if you shift back, as I said, it's going to be hard to recover. like shifting back, if you actually like physically try it, shifting back, then back forward and then back again, that's hard. And then the last thing is training your blocking weapon. So for many of the blocks, the blocking weapon is the wrist, this part, outside. Like if you think about it, upper block uses that. The chest block uses that. The lower block uses that. So 3-step sparring, that means contact, physical contact. So when you block, it's going to train that part and make it tougher. So that's what the 3-step sparring trains. And now I'm going to have someone come in and demonstrate the 3-step sparring. So here the attacker, normally it's just the attacker getting down in the gedan rod. And when that happens, it's whichever leg steps back. Like if you want to attack with your right, you use your right leg to step back, and then you would go in with your techniques. And only the attacker steps back when prepared. The defender just stays in the yoi position. And attacker, that move has to be strong. So I'm gonna, well first of course, you got to gauge your distance. Go down and then gauge your distance. See if you're too far or too close. So I think this is the right distance. And of course, good technique. And now you'll have to shout whatever target you're going at. If I'm going at the face or Jordan, then I will shout Jordan. Or Shunan, then Shunan. The chest. And then the lower area, Ginan. So right now I'm gonna start with the head. And the defender would have to acknowledge that he's ready. So, Jordan!
Oh.
Now, this part is important. You know how we draw back to the yoi? The attacker draws back. The defender draws up. So now it's his turn. Us. And normally after like defending, after the third step, you would counter. Counter normally with a punch. So now Chudan. Chudan! Us. So notice how you can change the rhythm to it. Instead of just doing punch, 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 as the attacker, you could do like punch, 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 or punch, 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 or just like punch, punch, punch. You can change the rhythm. So, So that will be about it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, leave a like, subscribe, and click on that notifications bell so you never miss